Now to follow up on a story that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Governor Snyder's business incentives package passed in the legislature. But just on Wednesday, the company that those incentives were designed for chose to locate its new $10 billion plant in Wisconsin. It is the first major U.S. factory for Foxconn and has the potential of generating 13,000 jobs. But all may not be lost. Michigan could be in the running for a Foxconn technology center. This was a big deal that Michigan was working on, and the governor was trying to work on with that incentives package. And you look at what Wisconsin threw on the table.
What was it, $2-3 billion?
Exactly, and so
well,
you're looking at.
We just got outplayed at that game, and that's the lesson, right?
We got out-politicked too. It's locating it in Paul Ryan's district,
yeah.
and you know. It was a state that Trump loves and a governor Trump loves. I think that first one was all about politics. But there's no way Michigan is going to get in that $2 and $3 billion incentive game, nor should we.
No. But okay, so that's the question. So people are saying, well, if we can't get into it, but shouldn't we be able to be getting into that, or is there sometimes
the return on
incentives
investment
exactly that are so big that it says
well,
it's making sense?
You know, again. I think that the better strategy is the one that the governor articulated 7 years ago. Make Michigan a better climate for businesses. And the problem, I think, in the sort of intervening 8 years has been that he's focused on one thing and one thing only: taxes. He lowered corporate taxes, but at the same time, you know, we're not funding education the way we should. Our roads and infrastructure are a mess. These are things that businesses look at too, and they want to locate in places where their workers will want to live, where there's workers who can come work for them, who have skills. We got to keep building that kind of place in Michigan.
I don't think in any of those areas Wisconsin's that much better than us. I mean,
they haven't eroded as much as we have, I think.
I talked to the governor yesterday about this. He's very confident that they'll get one of the two pieces left.
And they're looking at what, Romulus? They're looking at Southeast Michigan.
Romulus seems to be the most logical place. I mean, and because you've got an airport with direct flights to Asia. This is an Asian company, but there's two pieces of this left. There's the small screen facility. The governor believes that's most likely for Michigan because those screens will go into automobiles primarily. I mean, that will be their biggest customer. Where else would you want to be? So he was pretty convinced that they were going to get, Michigan was going to get one of the remaining two pieces. The other piece is a manufacturing facility where they put it all together.
So the incentives plan and the package that they were able to get through, then would you say it was successful then?
Well, we won't know until we see whether they do land one of these other two pieces.
But what about for other companies, though? They look and they say, maybe Michigan is getting back into a little bit more of incentives, and maybe it's a better place to look. So if they don't get that, is it good for other companies?
Yeah, I mean, it should be. I mean, that was the idea. I hope it will be, and it's designed for big projects, not every little thing that comes, so they're not going to be throwing them around to everybody. I think the things they've already done in terms of taxes and the regulatory environment help Michigan. It's not like we're not getting any of these projects. We've landed some big things in Michigan, and so I think they'll help. Hope they will.
I'm not a fan of this approach to growing business. I think the governor was right when he ran against this stuff and said when he was elected he was going to stop. I think it's a longer haul to fix the things that we need to fix to make this a more hospitable environment for people to, provide jobs and things like that. But that was the right tack, and I would hate to see us sort of get off that road and go back to, well, we can buy jobs, which is really what this is. I mean, you talk about corporate welfare. This is the most obscene kind of it. What Wisconsin is doing is
I don't disagree
really
with that.
Obnoxious.
But in terms, I agree with almost everything you said in terms of buying jobs. I think you don't want to create a crazy quilt of tax codes where one company making the same thing as another pays two different tax rates. This is crafted though in a way I think that was very limited and targeted and will do the least amount of harm, and business community felt like they needed this to attract more investment in a hurry here. So,
all right, well, we'll see what Foxconn decides to do in the next couple of weeks.